The hype normally surrounds the Pro version, and that's for good reasons. But what about the regular version that most people would likely get? This is the iPhone 13 unboxing and first impression. So this is the T-Mobile version, iPhone 13 with a 6.1-inch display. I got the new midnight color. They have a bunch of new colors. I chose to go with the midnight because it looked pretty cool to me, like a dark blue, almost black light color. Specs wise, honestly, not that much new here. Like, they could have technically called this the S version. Like before they used to do the 10S and all that stuff, they could have called this the 12S, because specs wise, there's not much change. Design didn't change at all, really. I mean, got a different camera housing with it going diagonal instead of vertical. Got a new A15 Bionic processor, which is still a beast. I mean, the A14 was a beast. I mean, Apple is just killing it in the processor game. But not much change with the regular version, and that's kind of like the reason why there's a lot of hype around the Pro version, because the Pro version came with the 120 hertz refresh rate. But we're not going to talk about the Pro version. That might come in a video later, but right now let's talk about the regular version, the regular 13, and let's crack this box open and take a second to just give Apple their credit for making a well packaged box. They seem to always like improve on their packaging, and it just makes it so really easy to open. Got the quick little pull tab that I'm struggling to pull open. All right, so got the pull tab here. Got another pull tab at the bottom. Let's open it up. Oh. And this is it. This color is interesting. I just give it that. It's interesting. It's like a navy. It's like a little darker than navy blue. You can check out the new cameras. So this has a 12 megapixel wide and ultra wide. It's a completely redone camera. It should provide a better picture quality. You know, the same usual, more processing power, better picture quality. We're gonna test that out. But what's really different is just now it's going this way because the camera sensors are so much larger than before. Well, let's take the plastic off the top, or the paper, or plastic, whatever you want to call it. Get that off. And let's turn it on while we check out what else is in the box. So, we already know. Has the lightning port to USB-C. I'm hoping that one day, it might never happen, but I'm hoping that it might go all the way USB-C and get rid of this lightning port. But I think lightning port is gonna go away, and it's just gonna be the MagSafe charging. Got your sticker, very little docks, SIM card ejection tray tool, and that's it. No charging brick, and we're not gonna talk about that, but it is what it is. No charging brick. So not much of an unboxing, but I am gonna turn this on and see, did this turn on already? All right, cool. Got this thing on, so you can't really tell, but this is a 20% smaller notch. Hardly noticeable. Can't tell at all, really. The design, it's the same line. Not that it's anything wrong with this design, because this is the first iPhone that I actually like the design. I kind of like this little flat sides, flat everything. This phone is more of a refinement rather than a new phone, if it makes any sense. It's literally the same exact phone, a few new internals, but nothing changed with the design. Faster processor, that's it. But I'm not gonna bash it yet, because I mean, let's give it a test. I'm just gonna do my first impression. I'm gonna take some time. I'm gonna set it up, get everything installed, gonna play around with the phone for a little bit, and I'll be right back. All right, I got everything set up now, and while I was setting everything up, I got a chance to like play with the phone for a little bit. First thing I noticed is this thing is a little chunky. It is heavy, and I didn't really notice it at first because I was coming from the Z Flip 3, so I thought it was just the difference between the Z Flip 3 and the iPhone. Z Flip 3 is kind of light, so I didn't think nothing of it at first, but after playing with the phone for a few hours, I noticed that it was actually heavier than the 12. Then I went and checked the specs on it, and it is a couple grams heavier, and it's actually a little bit thicker than the 12. The extra heft is due to a larger battery, which is a good thing. iPhones, them batteries don't last that long, and it also charges really slow, so having an extra battery is a pretty good thing. I mean, you get an extra, what, 2 hours of video playback time, 15 hours compared to, what, 17 hours compared to 15 hours on the iPhone 12. There's a new camera setup process that allows you to choose the color temperature of how you like your pictures. I like this new setup because I personally like a cooler tone pictures, and I like my pictures to be a little more vibrant, so I'm glad that they gave you the option to choose whether you want your pictures to be more natural, warmer tones versus the cooler tones. Apple giving people options is a great thing. The notch is definitely slimmer than the iPhone 12. It's still too large for my liking, and I wish they would just put Touch ID on the power button similar to they do with the iPad Air and the iPad Mini. I could be perfectly fine with them just getting rid of Face ID and just using Touch ID. The camera housing itself is slightly larger to fit the larger sensors. It's still a 12 megapixel camera, but the sensors itself is a bit larger than the 12. I still remember the days manufacturers was in a competition to see who could have the least camera bump, and now it seems like everybody is trying to race to see who will have the largest, biggest, tallest camera bump possible, because these things just keeps getting larger and larger and larger. I did get a chance to test out the cinematic mode on the camera, and it is actually pretty cool to see like how you can shift the focus on different things within the frame. I think creators are really gonna enjoy this feature, because even like me using it right now, it's like real cool, like how it just switches the focus in different areas. I ain't gonna say it's gonna replace actual real mirrorless camera or anything, but just being able to do this with your phone is pretty cool. Other than that, iPhone 13 isn't really bringing anything too exciting. Like I said at the beginning, this is really like an S update. The only real significant update I see with this phone is the move to 128 gigs of storage, because 64 gigs was not cutting it, especially when you have 4K HDR video recording and all these cool cinematic camera features. It seems like the big push for iPhone is to make the best video as possible, so it only made sense for them to improve the storage capacity to setting the base storage at 128 gigs, because they set and rolled out that 64 gigs for the longest. Overall, this seems like a pretty boring update. I'm gonna hold my final opinion for my full review, but right now I'm just giving some more time, test out all the new features, all the new things that iOS 15 brings, and yeah, I'm gonna come back soon with a full review. But for now, thanks for watching. This was another Joe Tech Talk. I'm out.